You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's Walk the Talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
8 minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, Sanbonani, Bonjour. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. Great to have you with us here on 702. I hope you're good this morning. 011-883-0702. That's the number to dial on the 702 open line this morning. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. What did you think of the testimony of Witness E at the Madlanga Commission yesterday? Even the testimony of the acting Deputy Police Commissioner in KZN. So the suspended police minister, Senzo Mchunu, or maybe you prefer the one who is on special leave, Senzo Mchunu, has been accused of interfering with investigations into cases of ward councillors. He's also been accused of coercing a witness to lie to the Madlanga Commission and of trying to implicate crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo in the killing of Sindiso Makaka. And I wonder if you think this sinks the minister even further, because he's already sunk just from the testimony from last year and his own testimony. I mean, there are questions he couldn't answer when he testified before the Madlanga Commission, and there are concessions he had to make about the process he failed to follow before disbanding the PKTT. Happy for you to share your thoughts with us on 011-883-0702. You can send your WhatsApps as well, 072-702-1702. The Nkabinde inquiry is set to resume. So, yesterday the NPA head Shamila Batohi refused to continue with her testimony without legal advice. This is according to a report on EWN. So, the evidence leaders in that inquiry are now also experiencing significant challenges with all the witnesses they had lined up to testify regarding former KZN Hawks boss Johan Boyson and his Keto Manor unit. And I was just thinking, I mean, wouldn't you be worried as well if you were due to testify before the Nkabinde inquiry? Did you see what they did to Shamila Batohi? I mean, there's a reason why she decided to walk away and say she needs legal advice. Is she ever going to come back? And who's going to be brave enough to sit there unless they know their story? Because Advocate Nkukai Toby doesn't play games, eh? So it's just been messy at that inquiry. The evidence leaders are now insisting on a week-long break as Batohi's bid for legal advice continues to play out. Kanye West has apologized again. Okay, I've got to explain this, right? So, if you know me, you know I have always been a big fan of Kanye West. And I took a very difficult decision about 3 years ago, if not 4 years ago, or 5 years ago. But I remember it was live on this show. And I actually just decided and spoke about it live on this show. It was on the open line, and I remember deciding that I am done with Kanye West. Because I was just tired of the emotional abuse, because that's how I feel. He's got a tendency of, I don't want to say it's making mistakes, but he's got a tendency of doing things that hurt other people, and he doesn't take accountability. In fact, he wants to try and find justifications for his actions. And I forgave him the first time, I forgave him, and then just the third or so time, I just couldn't. And I decided, you know what? I'm done. I've always loved his music, but I'm deciding to walk away. And I will live with that decision for the rest of my life. And that's always the posture I've taken. Now, he's apologized again. This is probably like the 4th time. And I wonder how you feel about these patterns of apologies. If you are also a Kanye West fan, maybe you're not, but you've been observing him. And, when I first saw the apology, I thought, oh my God, are we getting the old Kanye back? Is this it? Maybe he gets it this time. Does he mean it this time around? Because he's now apologizing to the Jewish community. He's apologizing to the black community as well. But then I remembered that he's got a new project coming up. So he could be doing this because he's got this new project that he's going to launch. He's dropping an album soon, if I'm not mistaken. So what he's done now is he put up an ad on the Wall Street Journal, 4-page apology on the Wall Street Journal, which is quite interesting and so strategic. And I don't even know how he thinks this is supposed to pan out. But it feels like it's an apology that's heartfelt. It feels like it's an apology that he means. But haven't previous apologies felt the same way? I don't know if Kanye West can rebuild his image again. And I don't know if people can actually trust him when he apologizes. So here's a question I want to ask you. If you're a Kanye West fan, let me know what you think about this latest apology. But maybe you're not a Kanye West fan, but you've been disappointed with someone you admire before. And you've accepted their apology. And what if it was repeated apologies? Like, what did it take for the people you've admired to get back into your good books? I know a lot of people often talk about Lauryn Hill and how sometimes she just doesn't arrive at concerts. Some people complain about Trump and the many crazy things that Trump will say, but they still stick with him. Who is that person for you who has disappointed you, but you admire them so much? You've got a soft spot for them, for their talent, for their politics, their brain, and you just keep coming back for their work. Because the reality, guys, is artists are human too. I mean, if you've got a friend or a colleague who makes the same mistakes or does the same things, or a lover, they keep on apologizing and coming back to you, why would you think artists' lives are different? And artists are quite complex humans, I can tell you that much. I've got friends that are close to me that are artists, and they're very complex human beings. But the tough thing with being in the public eye is that your mistakes are public, your apologies are public, your relapses are public. But your life as a politician, as an artist, as an actor, as a famous lawyer, whatever, as an author, your life is not too different to just ordinary human beings. The difference is that yours is on a spotlight. So, I read this apology, and to be honest with you, I'm still undecided this morning. Because a part of me feels bad for Kanye because I've got a soft spot for him. But I'm also like, I need him to take accountability, because that's the thing about me. When I decide that I'm a fan of you, it's based on your being holistically. So it's not just your artistry. It's like your activism. Like, what are your politics? That matters to me. It's like, I always make an example with Lewis Hamilton. I don't just like Lewis Hamilton because he's the GOAT, the most brilliant driver Formula One has ever had. But I love him because I love his story. I love his background story. I love the representation that he has in society, what he represents. I love his politics. So even with Kanye, I've had a soft spot, but I'm too removed from some of his politics and some of the things they've had to say because they've hurt other people. And I hate that he never wants to take accountability. What do you think? Do you have someone for you who constantly disappoints you, but you come back because you really admire them? Or you've completely written them off. You don't even listen to their music anymore because of what they've done. Or you don't follow their politics anymore. You don't vote for them anymore. You don't buy their books anymore. 011-883-0702. You can send your WhatsApps as well on 072-702-1702.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Good morning, Clement. It's long been said that apologizing without changing behavior is simply manipulation.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say about Kanye. This is Titi.
Clement, quite an interesting topic, man, on the Kanye West thing. For the longest of time, and I don't know when this happened with me, but I actually did that introspection right now when you started talking about him. Probably R. Kelly or Paul Cosby. And for me, lately, the work of any artist or any person just serves as inspiration for what it is that I am admiring them for. And that's where it ends. So I'm not going to go beyond, what he does, even for kids that are struggling or whatever. It's his art, his music, the movie or whatever it is that this person do that's in the public eye. How does that speak to me and my values, and how can I use that? And I sometimes even talk to young kids, because I'm in that space, about, just taking the positives out of that. And yeah, if there is probably a positive story out there, but yeah, it's guarding myself from idolizing people that's going to disappoint you, because people are going to do that. Whether it's a soccer star, a tennis star, you might like Djokovic, but then he goes and then he supports.
Okay, I think that got cut off abruptly there when you were recording it, but I think I get your point. But how do we avoid that? I mean, the very nature of people being celebrities, being in the public eye, is that you are naturally going to idolize them. That's the reality. And you get inspired by them. But why don't we have a conversation about how gracious we should be towards the people we admire? Because I think that's what's missing. I think we're quick to judge people in the public eye. Like, you're quick to judge Julius Malema, you're quick to judge the president, you're quick to judge whoever your favorite artist is, yeah? Adele or Beyonce or Kanye West. We're very quick to judge them. But if these people were not famous, but they were someone in your life that you just get along with, would you take the same posture? I think the reason I judge them also so quickly, and I'm not saying that is right, is because I expect at the very least that they understand the responsibility that they hold. You hold a lot of responsibility. So if you're going to come out and say the most ridiculous thing that have no basis, like what Kanye has done before, I mean, the stuff he said about slavery and black people and that being a choice, the stuff he said about the Jewish community, that's disgusting stuff. And even when he was pointed to the truth and he was told, Kanye, look at it this way, you may be wrong, he doesn't want to. And in this apology now, he says, okay, he's bipolar, and his previous doctors have told him he is autistic, but actually it is bipolar. And when you are bipolar, you've got these episodes where you think this is your reality and it's the truth, but it's actually not. You end up hurting people in the process. And he says he realizes that. But then again, I'm like, this is an American artist who could be strategic here. He's going to have an album that drops soon. Because this happens a lot in America. Like in Hollywood, when you see a big stunt being pulled by an artist, just research, what are they working on? What's about to come out? Because that's how America works. And it does even work in politics, even though we may not want to admit it. Destruction. It's the art of destruction. When there's an issue that they know can be too big enough to destabilize the current political system, what they do is they find something else that's so big, that's going to go push. And then all of us now talk about that. Like when the Epstein files came out, and then Venezuela. I mean, what a big move to pull. I mean, you got to give it to Trump. That's very smart. If that's what he was going for, then he is bloody smart. If he was trying to distract us, because what better way to distract us than to get your army to go kidnap a president from another sovereign state? People were on holiday pauses, because they're talking about what Trump has just done. Anyway, how do you feel about artists who come back and repeatedly do the same mistake or your author, do you cut them off, or are you willing to go, I don't want to engage you as a human, but I'm going to engage you as an artist and only take that from you?
Clement, to me, I don't listen to his music, but I'll hear his music, and I like the guy. It was Shebe, what? That guy, I used to give him a benefit of the doubt, but now I know. For me, it feels like he's just a toxic man. I don't even want my kids to listen to his music. That guy, no, man. I gave him a chance, but after there's so many scandals and videos I saw being violent, doing all the stuff, I just switched him off. I don't want anything to do with him. Maybe one day when he has proven that he has changed, then maybe. But now,
Mr. Manyathela, Dumela to you and your listeners. On Kanye West, I think his first 3 albums would always be a classic to me. I still listen to those. I still enjoy that music. However, I think the guy is a egocentric maniac. He's addicted to fame. And that's never going to change, unfortunately. That's who Kanye West is. You can appreciate his music, but Kanye, West, that's never going to change. He's an egocentric maniac. Gregory in Blackstop.
Yeah, but he says there's a reason for that, because he's sick. Yeah, I do miss some of his albums. I do. I miss Jesus is King. I miss Donda. The album that sometimes I'm driving or I'm taking a jog and I'm just feeling like I want to listen to this, but I'm also like, this guy is not learning, I don't know. And please don't judge me next time you see me at the traffic lights. I'm bursting Kanye West music. It's a decision I would have taken in that moment. At the moment, I'm still undecided with him because I don't know if he means it. But actions speak louder than words. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do now going forward. On Twitter, someone says, "Hi Clement, I've stopped listening to Nicki Minaj's music because of her support for Trump." That's a message from Mihlali J19 on Twitter. And then another person says, "Yes, Clement, Kanye West's apology is strategic. Let's also take into consideration his mental health issues. I know his apology will be short-lived. So Clem, Ola, and listen to the new album. You won't be disappointed. He most likely will disappoint you again." That's a message there from Bonga. Another one says, "Come on, Clement. Did he even write that apology? Kind of feels too rehearsed for me. He can keep it until he speaks for himself, please." Yeah, that's the thing. And maybe it would have hit differently if Kanye West said it himself, like in an interview or he put up a video. It's a statement. And honestly speaking, you can tell that there are professionals who helped him write that statement. So is it heartfelt? Is it coming from the heart? Is it a serious realization? Very difficult to tell. Really difficult to tell.
Morning, 702 family. The artist I will always forgive is R. Kelly. That man wears his heart in his sleeve. He says the things that he feels and thinks in his music. He has apologized several times, even in some of his songs. And I think that's a respectable trait that he has, despite the price that he's had to pay for some of his actions. So R. Kelly, I'll always forgive, and I'll always listen to his music. It's Owen here in Leeds. Morning.
Good morning. With me, it has to be a politician by the name of Jacob Kelehlekisa Zuma. I used to idolize the man, his tactics, though I feel like he has overstayed. In fact, he has overdone his politics. I think it's time for him to retire. I no longer see him as I used to see him. So, yeah, goes for the big guy, Jay-Z.
Interesting. I don't often come across people who write off Jay-Z completely, hey? People who love Jay-Z, up to forever, really. So it's very rare to come across someone who says, oh, Jacob Zuma was the man and I used to idolize him and not anymore. So that's interesting, actually.
Good morning, Clement and the listeners. Any publicity is good publicity. So in his case, because of the project that he's about to launch, he's about to launch, he wants people to speak about him so that they can be curious about the project itself. He's a good artist. We have to give it to him. It's unfortunate that as human beings, we have those shortcomings. In his case, he has a lot of shortcomings and he's in the public eye. Tammy from Near Day. Thank you.
Yeah, true, Tammy. I suppose what I'm asking is, as human beings then, how can we be more accommodative of these people we admire and understand that they're human too? Right? So even when someone does this repeatedly, they come apologize. How do we then go, oh, okay, it's fine. I get it. And I'll give them a second chance. I just find that sometimes we're a little bit too harsh when it comes to people in the public eye or people that we admire, because how dare they, they're supposed to live this perfect life. Like, do not make mistakes, And this is life, guys. The same mistakes we make are the same mistakes they can make. So maybe we need to rationalize that and not have these unfair expectations on them. It's 9:30.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock, I've got your WhatsApps and calls on the issue of apology and artists and people we admire, whether it's politicians, whether it's authors, whether it is actors. How gracious are you to them? Are you a type of person who just cuts off people? Are you a type that is more gracious in your understanding that these people are also human beings, no matter how famous they can be? And this is because of an apology from Kanye West. Yesterday, it was published. In fact, he took up an ad on the Wall Street Journal. It's a 4-page apology for the things that he said towards the Jewish community, towards the black community as well. And there's a conversation ongoing and a debate about whether or not he means it this time, or whether this is just an advertisement for his latest projects, which is coming up soon, because he's going to be dropping a new album soon. And it happens a lot in America. There's a big stunt. Whenever you see a big stunt, just check what's happening around that artist's life. You will be surprised that they're probably planning something and they just wanted a conversation to begin before that project drops. There's something else, though, that is also interesting. So I'll come to your voice notes and calls on that. Something else that's interesting. In fact, the EFF, I saw, they released a statement yesterday taking and acknowledging victory for this. Prepaid consumers are going to benefit from ICASA's amendment of the rules on mobile data bundle expiry. I don't know if you followed the story yesterday. So basically from the 23rd of January next year, South Africa's telecommunications companies will be required to allow consumers to roll over unused mobile data bundles. So ICASA has gazetted these new regulations on Friday that will give effect to that. And they provide for at least one rollover on the same terms as the original bundle. So that's what's going to happen going forward. So Catherine Mushi is the councillor at ICASA and chairperson of the Committee on End User Subscriber Charter. And she spoke to Stephen Grootes on The Money Show last night. And she was explaining what has changed and how it will affect consumers and networks.
These rules were actually first introduced in 2018. So what we are actually doing in this 2025 is to tighten the rules because, we've been observing how the 2018 was having an impact. And we then came back again after consultation to revise and amend some of the regulations to tighten them up. To your question, what we are thinking is that the regulations are now empowering the users, the consumers, to rather understand more about what they are purchasing, what the rules are, and giving them the opportunity also to lock in that value. You speak a lot about how much you spend on data and all of that. Although these regulations don't speak to how much you pay for the data, how we interpret its contribution to the cost to communicate is that now there is no longer data that is being lost when it expires. We're giving now the consumers the opportunity to roll it over at least once, and also whilst we're doing that, empowering also the operators to plan better for their network, and that the rollover is not infinite. So the other thing is that we also are pushing hard for consumers to be aware of their usage. That the complaint about data disappearing also goes away, especially when we're entering into the smartphones era where apps are probably running in the background and the users are not aware. We then put in the responsibility both on the operator to manage the usage by putting in those rules that we are now introducing, tightening up actually, and also for the consumers to take responsibility on their usage. And in that way, we're saying then at least they lock in the value that they've paid for.
So that was the Councillor Ed Ikasa and Chairperson of the Committee on End User Subscriber Charter, Catherine Moshi, just explaining what these new regulations, what they mean for you as consumers. And if you've got some thoughts on that, please share them with us on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. What do you make of these amendments to the rules on mobile data bundle expiry? So from January next year, telecommunications companies will be required to allow you to roll over unused mobile data bundles. How do you feel about that? I've just never understood this concept of the data I have and I'm dictated to on how to spend it and within what period. I've always struggled with that. But here's something that sort of relaxes the rules a little bit. Is it something you welcome? 19 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Hey, Clement, it's a tough topic, and you're really touching us in our studios today because we always sound so progressive, commenting about these artists who are always, Kanye West has been saying a lot of nonsense, and you sometimes being shocked. Yet at the end of the day, today when I'm going for a run, I'm going to be listening to Kanye West. I'm going to be listening to R. Kelly. I'm going to be listening to Puff Daddy, even though I know these men are not good. And there's just a lot of evidence in front of us. Some of them are even serving jail time, but we still listen to them. I don't know. I guess the music with memories, the music is just one thing that just give us a relief. So yeah, most of us are not even victims, but we are supporting these men because we listen to their music anyway. Sfiso.
Yeah, Sfiso. And look, I don't judge people who decide to do that. I absolutely don't. I'm one of the people who decided I'm not going to listen to R. Kelly because I don't like I'm uncomfortable with some of the songs I listen to, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, he probably had just raped these women and he wrote the song. So that's my issue, is I'm always worried about that aspect. So I don't know, I'm uncomfortable with that. And for me, I'm all about accountability. Do you take accountability for what you have done? Can be the biggest mistake you've made, but are you realizing what you've done wrong? And if you have, then you're making it easy for me to then say, okay, I choose to forgive this person and still follow them and support them. But some who have not taken full accountability, I'm always like, I'm not sure about that. But having said that, I disagree with this woke culture because it really came out during the peak of woke culture. This expectation that, because that person has done that, anybody who listens to their music then is just, equally complicit. No, let people make their own decisions. Like, why are you trying to dictate your morals to other people? If you think you don't listen to Kanye or R. Kelly anymore, that's your business. That's fine. But don't try dictate to other people. I mean, you can have I have conversations with my friends. We just share thoughts. But we don't dictate to each other that how dare you listen to this person? You are, you are a terrible human being. You don't care for the people that is victimized. No. People have different approaches to things, and I accept that even in this case, there are people who will approach it differently. They must respect my decision just as I will respect theirs.
Hi, Clement. I think whether you take his apology or not, whether the fans will accept his apology or not, or anybody else that he apologized to will take his apology or not, the fact is that anything that Kanye West is going to be doing, he has created enough attention. He has created this attention so that you anticipate, is this, you're now asking questions whether this is a true apology or is a strategic. Now everybody's going to anticipate, what is he gonna do? Was this apology a true apology or was this strategic? Everybody is going to anticipate and wait to make sure that they see what he's doing next. So he has created this attention to ensure that you don't look at anything else, but he ensures that whatever, if he's going to drop out new music, he knows that you're gonna be, he's gonna have the attention. You're gonna be waiting for that, and you're gonna want to hear that. Is this new music? How is it? Is it a bang or not?
Yes, Clement, I will always forgive Kanye. I will always forgive Kanye because I know that he is not a mean guy. You watch podcasts and you're like, that guy is intrinsically mean. He's mean at a cellular level. Kanye is not that. He does mean things. And I take a point to say that he cannot use his mental health as an excuse for some of the mean things that he's said and done. But with everything that he's gone through, from being a child, I forgive him, Shem. And next, he's going to put out an exquisite album. And he's not going to use AI. He's not going to use auto-tunes. He's going to give us purity of artistry. And I look forward to it. I forgive him. I forgive him.
When you've listened to it, let me know how the album is.
Hi, Clem. And the 72 listeners. The person that I've, written off is Julius Malema. I used to love, his politics, and, what he stands for, especially for a black, young South African child. That has always been outstanding. I loved his mind as well and how he thinks. But what's making me write him off is, the gossip that he engages in sometimes when it comes to other political parties. It's like, dude, come on. Also his arrogance. He's so arrogant. He's, unable to speak respectfully to, certain issues or about other, people. And that's what I don't like about him.
Morning, Clement. Personally, every Sunday I listen to R. Kelly. Every Sunday. I've forgiven the guy. Yeah. Thank you.